Hi everyone, it's Sue Plum here to share a scrapbooking process video with you. Now today's layout that I am sharing is my fourth and final project for Kitaholic Kits for the month of March. And today I am actually working with the main scrapbook kit, which is full of the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Sun-Kissed collection. If you haven't gotten your hands on this collection yet, I recommend you do because it is beautiful. Now, today's layout that I am creating is actually a multi-photo layout. Now, I know that quite often I will create a layout that has 2 smaller photos on it or sometimes 3 smaller photos on it, but this time I've gone all out and there are actually 7 photos on this layout. Yes, you heard me correctly. There are 7 photos on this layout. Now, the way that I actually managed to include 7 photos on this layout is I've actually added one that is a 3x4, I believe, and then I've actually collaged the other 6 photos to make them all squish into a 2 to a 3x4 each. So these photos were actually taken when my sister and I were on a weekend away with some scrappy friends. And yes, that's Fiona Poltridge there in the photos with us. And these were taken when we were having a night out one night. Now, the reason I actually chose to scrap these photos is because of that beautiful background paper. Now, that's actually called the Sunny Days paper, and it's got a beautiful little rainbow print on the back of it, but I was really drawn to that teal chevron style print because it reminded me of the cocktails that we were drinking on this night, which were that exact colour. Well, the ones that we started with were anyway. So I thought it might be a great opportunity to get this series of photos scrapped. And when I looked at all the photos and tried to whittle it down, I just couldn't because every one of them was an absolute cracker. So I started with that teal paper as my background, and I just wanted to tone down the colour in the centre where I knew the photos were going to sit. So I just used a bit of white acrylic paint and my large number 4 brush, which is a 2-inch brush, and I just dry brushed some white acrylic paint across the background just to help define the focal area of the page, and as I said, just pull that colour back a bit so that it didn't overwhelm the photos when I got them on there. Now, the other paper that I am working with there is that cloud print from the Just Chillin' paper. And if you've watched either of my previous scrapbook layouts that I've created this month using this kit, you'll know that they are just a couple of leftover pieces that I had that I didn't want to go to waste and decided to use them to sort of frame this layout in from the corners there. So they were already torn pieces. I just went along and roughed them up with my fingernail and then stuck that small piece in the top left corner and then that larger piece down the right hand side. And that actually created quite a pretty little frame, and it was a great use of scraps. Now you can see where I've got my photos placed on the page there. The idea of the placement of these photos was because I wanted to create a flow through the photos because they were taken in a little bit of a progression as things got a little bit messier. And so up in the top left corner is the photo of Mandy and I, and then it progresses through the photos with drinks and just a couple of funny things that were happening. Now, the way I wanted to get people's eye to flow through those photos, you can see that because there are so many photos there, it's quite blocky already. There was lots of rectangular shapes already on the page, and I wanted to add an extra colour and also to help people's eye flow through, but also soften off some of those, blocky shapes and straight lines that I already had. So I grabbed out some paper doilies from my stash, those little yellow paper doilies. I think they're about 3.5 inches in diameter. Don't quote me on that. But I used 4 of those behind the photos just to help the flow go down across those photos and then down to the ones at the end. Now, what else did I do here? Oh, that's right. I'm using my T-square. You know that I'm going to use my T-square to get things straight on the page. I really wanted to make sure that all of those photos, because there were so many of them, were going to sit straight on the page. I could not have crooked photos for this. And I actually used the foam title stickers from this collection. I knew the word cheers was in there, so I knew from the outset that that was going to be the title of this photo, given that there was cocktails appearing in just about every shot there. So I already had that in mind before I started this page, so I knew I had to leave enough space somewhere to fit that in, and I thought it would fit well underneath that first photo because that was the cheers photo. That's where the whole series of images started. So where am I at? I've got all of my photos placed on the page. I've actually used cardboard on the back of them to pop them up from the page. I've used those paper doilies to help create that visual flow around my page. And now I'm actually going in to create my embellishment clusters. Now, despite the fact that I don't have my photos laid out in my traditional format, or the fact that I'm not using a single photo or a few sort of smaller photos, and that I've actually laid them out with this sort of asymmetrical arrangement, I am still going with my standard 3 main embellishment clusters, and I want those to form the visual triangle around the action on my layout. So you can see that I am going to create one up in the top left corner. I've got that little citrus slice die cut from the ephemera pack. You can see that I'm going to create one on the right hand side there where I've got that die cut pineapple placed, and then my third cluster is going to be at the bottom there where I've got that little die cut cocktail glass. And if you drew a line between those 3 points, you will see that the majority of those photos fall within that visual triangle and the main points of interest. So you know that the eye is always going to be drawn in there. What did I add to my clusters besides that? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I went in with the die cut floral ephemera pack from the Sunkissed collection here, and I was just looking for a few flowers that I could use to build those clusters. One thing that I did have in mind when I was making this page is I didn't really want to over embellishment. I didn't want to put too much on this page because it was already so busy with 7 photos. And it was also very busy with that print on the background as well. So I wasn't looking to build enormous clusters. I was looking to keep them fairly simple just to allow the subject of this page to shine. So I just picked through the ephemera pack there. I wanted to add a few little pops of different colours, but I didn't want to, overdo the colours at all. I didn't want anything to sort of overwhelm the photos. So I'm just tucking in some flowers at different heights. Some of them I tucked in under the photos, and some of them I'm actually using foam tape on the back of them just to pop them up and give them a little bit of dimension, and just to create that bit of interest in amongst the clusters, that there were things at different heights. Now, in the center there, you can actually see that I've cut a tag, a little labeler, from the cut apart sheet. And that was where I was going to put my journaling, and it actually worked out really well that the space there just fit that label in. It was sort of perfect because my journaling was actually going to flow on from that title of Cheers, so that it read in its entirety, cheers to good times, great friends, and very questionable decisions, of which there were several on this evening. So I really wanted that journaling to sit really close to the title so that you could just read and flow through all of the text like that. Now, with these clusters, you can see I've also put in that little tab sticker up above the photos on the left-hand side there that says the best. I thought that one blended in really well because it was the same colour as the background paper, but by sitting it on the doily like that, it did contrast quite well, so your eye was drawn to those words. I'm actually going through with a few other little words from the ephemera pack and also from the accessory stickers. So I end up sticking that little good vibes only banner above the bottom series of photos. And I end up sticking a little flag that says best ever up above the left photo there. If you know my videos, you know that I always say I like to balance my visual elements with a good bit of text so that as people's eye moves around the page, they've got some things to read as well. Now, what else did I do? Oh, you would have seen me pull out the clear sticker sheet there, and I actually used one of those beautiful brush stroke stickers to underline my title. I love clear stickers, if you didn't know that already. I love the fact that you can see through the stickers. Whilst they do add an element to your page, you can also see through them to what's underneath, and it tends to give your page more depth and more interest, and I just think that they're really fun. What else am I going in with? Oh, there's that little flag sticker that I was talking about. Now, the other thing that I did go in with was I went back to the glitter foam title sheet, because there are some little hearts on those as well. So I did balance my page by adding a little gold glittery heart to each of my embellishment clusters. So again, that just reinforced that visual triangle. I'm adding a couple of little hearts up near the top of the page there from the clear sticker sheet. I did add a little tiny heart from the puffy stickers onto my bottom photo down there. I've also added a couple of chevrons from the clear sticker sheet. And what else did I add? I think that was about it for all of the actual elements that I placed on the page. I did finish this page off with a little bit of stamping. So I pulled out one of my roller stamps, and it actually has the phrase on it, pretty good at bad decisions. So I thought that tied in really well with my journaling. So I just stamped that a few times down the page. And I added some splatters, black splatters of Liquitex acrylic ink. And that was it for this page. I know that I've sped this up, but I hope you can see what I'm doing there. And I would say have a go at a multi-photo layout. You can get lots on there if you just shrink them down. Thanks so much for watching today. I'll see you next time. Bye.